family and friends. I'm Nerat-Dagwi. Welcome to another episode of Mental Health Conversations. If this is the first episode you're listening to, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the conversation enough to subscribe. And if this is not your first time, welcome back and thank you for believing in me. On Mental Health Conversations, we learn what mental health looks like from an African's perspective and how education affects our mental health, vice versa, as youth, and importantly, how to manage your mental health for living your best life. So today we're going to be talking about ADHD. It is ADHD Awareness Month this October. And to commemorate that, like you can see from the title of today's episode, it is why you can't have ADHD in an African home. Yes, you heard that right. I'm going to be giving you a few reasons why you can't have ADHD in an African home. So first of all, let's begin with what ADHD is even. So ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder. It is a neurodevelopmental disorder and it can be classified as an invisible disability. Some people actually don't consider it a disability as they might find that their ADHD doesn't affect their lives to the point that they find it disabled. And because it exists on a spectrum, people with ADHD experience it in different ways. So there's a saying that goes, if you know one person with ADHD, you only know one person with ADHD, because no two people's experiences of ADHD is the same. So there are 3 different types of ADHD and they are hyperactive, inattentive, and a combination. I know that the general perspective about ADHD is that people that have it are hyperactive, so they can't sit still, always all over the place, and inattentive, like they can't pay attention to anything, always distracted and all of that. Then there's combination, which of course is a combination of the two. So it is often, like I said, viewed as a condition that affects young people who are easily distracted or hyperactive, unable to focus. But people with this condition can deeply focus on certain subjects that inspire them, and they can tend to be extremely creative individuals. All right, so what really are some of the symptoms of ADHD? So time for some fast facts. Sadly, there are no fast facts today because in Nigeria, there is a very big data gap when it comes to mental health and mental health illnesses. So there's barely any data surrounding how many people in Nigeria have been diagnosed with ADHD, what the treatment is like for them. And I've not seen any information yet about other African countries. So there is a huge data gap that needs to be addressed. However, here are some fun facts. So number 1 is that some studies have suggested that individuals with ADHD may have enhanced creativity and out-of-the-box thinking. Then number 2 is that people with ADHD often have a different perception of time. This makes it feel like time passes faster or slower than it does for others. Then hyperfocus. While they may struggle with focus at times, individuals with ADHD can also experience hyperfocus, where they become completely absorbed in a task they find interesting. And then there's also the issue of multitasking, that despite the common belief that multitasking is effective, individuals with ADHD just cannot. It is not possible for them to manage multiple tasks simultaneously. Also, ADHD can lead to impulsive behavior, which can sometimes result in daring and adventurous experience. The one that will make you scream till you want to, lose your voice or something. Then many people with ADHD also have abundant energy, which I will talk about later. And they can be enthusiastic and lively in social settings. Also, this is very, very fun. Some individuals with ADHD have a keen ability to spot patterns and make connections that other people might miss. Also, they can be highly empathetic and sensitive to the emotions of those around them. They also have many people with ADHD excel in various fields, from sports and entertainment to science and technology. It is a part of a broader spectrum, that's ADHD, of neurodiversity, which recognizes and celebrate the unique abilities and perspectives of individuals with different cognitive profiles. Moving on, the symptoms of ADHD, like I said earlier, it is different for different people. I mean, there are some people that have ADHD and are introverted, and there are people that have ADHD and are extroverted. It is different experiences for different people, and so you can't generalize. There are a lot of different occasions where you can't say that, this person and this person have the exact same symptoms, and it can also be difficult to pin down. It can be very difficult to find out that someone is suffering from ADHD. Also, ADHD has to do with hyperactivity and disruption of the brain and not really the body. So people with ADHD might just be aloof and distracted. That's because there's a lot going on in their mind, and you may not necessarily see it in their body. Okay, for other symptoms, we can see extreme cases of impatience, and people have poor organization skills and difficulty prioritizing tasks. We can also see that people with ADHD have mood swings and a quick shift in temper, general restlessness, a tendency to begin new tasks before completing old ones, and they have poor attention to detail. They're constantly losing things or not knowing where they put them. I mean, their short-term memory is something else, almost non-existent, and they keep interrupting others, and they find it difficult keeping quiet in conversation. So yes, like I said, you can't have ADHD in an African home, because with all these symptoms that I've just mentioned, restlessness, inability to concentrate, extreme cases of impatience, poor organization skills, beginning a new task before even ending old tasks, try convincing an African parent that child has ADHD. Their conclusion is that you are just lazy and you lack focus. I mean, there's nothing you can't tell them. I mean, you can't concentrate. Some people even believe that it's an excuse for laziness. And you know what? Don't get me wrong, but some African parents can throw shade. Some will be blaming other African parents for bad parenting. Like if they see a child having an outburst, not sitting still. Just imagine in a PTA meeting, a parent is trying so hard to keep her child in one place, and other parents looking through, giving her bombastic side eye, and is looking like you're such a terrible mom, But that's not the case. That's absolutely not the case. If we can be more aware, that's why this podcast is even here in the first place. We can, be more empathetic towards parents that have children like that. Who knows? Maybe that child has ADHD and the parents are still struggling to find out what is it with this child, because there's barely any information about these neurodevelopmental disabilities or illnesses. So let's try and be more empathetic towards that. Now, moving on. I know that by this time, some of you are already realizing that, okay, I've been forgetful in some areas. Some symptoms might seem like they are telling you that you might have ADHD. But this is not a diagnosis, because there's a proper manual, the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Illnesses, to diagnose you properly. And you can't just claim that you have ADHD when you're just showing a symptom or a few symptoms. I also want to say that you can't just fling this word around. Like the same way some people say, I have OCD, or you flippantly say, I'm depressed, or I have anxiety. You can't just fling the word around. You can't do that. Maybe you just need to make better lifestyle choices. Honestly, you really don't have ADHD, dear. You need an actual health professional to diagnose you. I mean, if you have ADHD, it has to significantly disrupt your daily function. In fact, any mental illness has to significantly impact your daily function before you say that you have that illness. So instead of, flinging that word around, maybe you just need to make better life. Personally, I've always been a strong advocate for people sharing their stories, because research has proven that the more people share their stories,
the more people will be able to relate and be more empathetic towards people living with these illnesses. Take, for example, I think earlier in the year, Aproko Doctor hosted MI, that's Judah Baga, and his wife, and they spoke about having ADHD and how that changed their lives and how it made them, like being diagnosed, made them more aware of their abilities and how to focus their strengths and all of that. And it was a really beautiful episode. Feel free to go and check it out. It should be on YouTube, I think. So I believe that this is progress, where people are talking about living with these illnesses and they're successful. They're living very productive lives. So yeah, we should pay good attention to that. Now, ADHD is not a death sentence. It doesn't mean that you will never be successful in this life. The good side of it is, that we had mentioned one of the symptoms as hyperfocusing. When people hyperfocus, they can just get into their avatar mode and they can accomplish so much without even realizing how little time has passed. So the ability to hyperfocus and be productive, is a good thing. And when channeled properly, an individual can actually be productive. And then they have boundless energy. Like, they're just a ball of energy. So that energy makes it easy for them to engage and be successful in physical activities. So we have superstar athletes and sportsmen and women who have been diagnosed with ADHD, and they channeled all that energy into physical activity and made them successful. For example, Michael Jordan, yes, he was diagnosed with ADHD, and that is, the energy that he has, he just pushed that and channeled it into physical activity, and it made him such a great basketball. Someone with ADHD can be seen as very talkative and annoying, but they can be great conversationalists, and this can be channeled by making them join a debate club, engaging in public speaking, even networking. They can even seal deals, and that's an advantage to them as a workplace thing. And in fact, the ability to hyperfocus gives them an opportunity to hone their craft as creatives, or whichever aspect of life your profession takes you. That's the good part of it. And I believe that to manage this, like I said, we have to channel the energies into more productive things. That's optimizing their strength. Look at what they're excessively good at and, just channel their energy. In children, it might be difficult to track. And of course, the illness, it becomes evident and obvious in adults. And with more information, you can know how better to channel your energies and your strength. And medication is not always the cure. Like I said, it's not a death sentence, and medication gives the impression, I'm not saying medication is not good, but medication gives the impression that it can be cured. It can't be cured, but it can be properly managed. That's why some people don't even see ADHD as a disability. They see it as a different ability. So seeing the world through their eyes, everything is just about perspective. Their own perspective is different, and they have to maximize the use of their strength to be productive. I think one of the wonderful and major things is building a routine for someone that is living with ADHD. Building a routine is very underrated. I mean, everybody should have a routine. I know that there are people that are very spontaneous and can still be productive without building a routine. And in managing mental illnesses, there is a need to build a routine. I have a routine, and honestly speaking, if I step out of my routine, I become disorganized. In fact, there was a week where I stepped out of my normal routine. I'd lost a friend, and a lot of things were going on. We had to go and visit together, like a group, my group of friends went to visit, and then the burial was also that same week. So my normal schedule of going to work 3 days and taking 2 days off was disrupted. And then my days weren't even planned ahead. So it caused a lot of disruption for me. At the end of the week, I was exhausted. I was exhausted to my bone. Like, at some point, I was like, wait, am I slipping into depression? Because I was seeing as if I was having depressive symptoms. And I wouldn't have known that if I didn't build a routine. One thing that building a routine does for you is that when you begin to deviate in your health or in your mood, in your behavior, you can track it. So you can say, what's going on? I've noticed that I'm not even as responsive. I've become more irritable. What is the real issue? So it can help you to track the state of your mental health and do something about it. So you should build it. Yes, and your routine can also include checklists. So because of how forgetful and, short-term memory ADHD people can experience, it's necessary to have a checklist so that you know the things you're supposed to accomplish, the tasks that are important, that should be accomplished no matter what, and then you go ahead and do them. And then, just tick the box. And also time limits because of the ability to hyperfocus. So having a time limit for different tasks is very important. You know that you can't spend more than 5 minutes doing this, or you can't spend more than 30 minutes exercising in the morning. So you'll be more focused and pay more attention to getting that exercise done in the morning. So yeah, I believe that with these things, managing ADHD will be better. And I don't have all the information. I definitely don't. So find out more research. If you're a parent, you might find this episode very useful because there's a difference between a child being just plain stubborn and, exhibiting traits as a result of bad parenting, and then a child that actually needs help. Teachers as well, we notice these symptoms in children. You might want to talk about it with their parents, discuss it, and there's always a hospital close by you can ask for a professional's opinion, so that these children that have ADHD, can have very fulfilled, a good learning experience in school, and can be fulfilled when they learn and when they play and when they do all of that. And also parents can make better decisions on how to raise a child with ADHD. It's like I said at the beginning, it's different strokes for different folks. All right, so now that we've managing it, diagnosing it has to be by a mental health professional. You can't just Google. Please don't Google your symptoms. I mean, you can Google it and check out if you have these symptoms, and don't depend on that and diagnose by yourself. You have to meet the criteria in the DSM by a mental health professional before you can take the next step and go into managing. So that's the much that we can take on this episode. I hope that it was a good episode. Do your research. Reach out to me if you need help with finding a mental health professional to diagnose you, to run a few tests, to check your symptoms if they really tally with if you meet the diagnostic criteria for being diagnosed with ADHD. So my mental health tip for today would be build a routine. Have a routine. It will save you a lot of stress. Let's continue this conversation online. You can reach me at Nerat-Dagwi on all social media, at Mental Health Conversations with Nerat-Dagwi on Instagram and on Facebook. Until next time, bye.